Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. It is a nice Sunday evening, and look at that crash. Like, what just happened? I was making 1,000 last night. I'm now losing 1,000. That's just the mood swings of the volatile market. That is the cryptocurrency market. It's no big deal. I'm not too concerned about it. We've got a bit of stuff to talk about. CME gap that will open up for sure due to this crash. We've got an update on Russia-Ukraine, the new meeting that they will be setting up. Spoiler alert, they won't. And we're going to talk about why this crash happened over here. Apparently there's a reason behind it. And then some Canada stuff with whatever's going on with the Ukraine. So, yeah, great. Bit of stuff to talk about. Nothing too crazy, of course. It's but a weekend. So Ethereum hit another all-time high, by the way. We'll discuss that as well. Should be a good show tonight. I'm recovering from my sickness. I'm feeling much better now. I'm still holding my microphone in my left hand, so my click-clacking on my keyboard should be kept to a limit. Alright, so here's what happened. Bitcoin crashed to a low just out of the blue. 10,566. We have been slowly decaying ever since our beautiful pump thanks to Jerome Powell. You know what? I'll be the first to admit. Yeah, I should have taken some profits here. Or not. I still think the next upcoming weeks, I'm doing this for a couple of weeks, right? A weekly play. I still think we're going to go rise much higher. So that is why, I haven't taken any profits on any of my positions. And matter of fact, I've only been DCAing. You'll only notice that, suspiciously, it is only Bitcoin, the one that really crashed. The rest of altcoins, they're a little bit down just due to weekend decay, as I mentioned. But they're, like, my positions that I have, buying the perfect bottom, they're still perfectly fine. So the issue stands with, what happened with Bitcoin specifically. It had something to do with Bitcoin specifically, whether that's manipulation or a whale sell-off. Could be a combination of the two. So, the current price of Bitcoin, 112,768. I would have rather bought Bitcoin at 110,000. Didn't even know that this number would exist, but this crash was just so significant and sudden that, whatever. It's not even considered an entry on my RSI chart, so that's why I didn't do anything with it. And plus, it just happened very quickly. I'll go down to a 15-minute chart. You'll see this happen in, like, literally under 15 minutes. Maybe even a 5-minute chart. Yeah, a 5-minute chart shows it better. Just a huge crash just like that. Since then, we have slightly recovered, almost back to my entry point, but not quite there yet. We're on our way back up to recovery. I still think we will be heading much higher, as I mentioned all the time. But with valid reasons, right? Bitcoin dominance is dropping. This is another reason, or proof of that, I should say. And a lot of targets have not yet been met for the end of this year. I still think we can continue going much higher. We should top out around October. And then I'll accept the end of the cycle, the 4-year cycle. Some people even think the 4-year cycle just doesn't exist anymore. We're just up only from here. I think that's a little bit too bullish. I still think, Bitcoin does have its huge crashes. And with it brings a lot of the altcoins. But that's necessary, right? It can't just go up forever. It has to come back down so that you can buy it and then go back up when eventually things get hot again. So that is the play. Of course, don't get too greedy. Don't over leverage yourself. Be patient. That's my little tip for you. Great. So that's what we got for Bitcoin. We do have new pivot levels. Thanks to this volatility. I don't know. It's looking a bit shaky, but if I'm not coughing, I'm yawning. Pivot resistance at 114,794. Resistance 117,951. You could call that 118,000. I would say that is our target for this week. We are likely going to continue higher to hit that before we, you know, probably go back down to this support 111,254. If worst comes to worst, looks like 104,000 would be very important support. Otherwise 108,000, 107, 108. Not sure exactly why it's specifying 108, but sure, 108. You pay attention to those levels. It's concerning though. We are making lower highs and lower lows. I mentioned when we had this large pump over here, we did clash with this this downtrend of the super trend, right? Meaning that we could hypothetically draw a line like this, but I ended up deleting it because I said, you know what, it's too early and maybe we do continue much higher because we were not overbought on the RSI levels, meaning that, yeah, we had enough strength to continue higher, but of course, taking into account the fact that we are entering a weekend that is low volatility, and a lot of people would likely be taking profits if they were lucky enough to buy at the bottom. So that's what we got this decay over here. And it followed suit because just afterwards we had a huge sell-off right over here, causing this price crash. So downtrend still technically prevails. I'm sure we have a longer scale uptrend on Bitcoin somewhere. I don't have it drawn on this USDC chart, so I'm gonna zoom out a little bit to kind of get that drawn. I think we're actually breaking it instead, unless I draw it from April 5 last year. Sorry, August 5. Always mixing up my months. Yeah, we can still... I think this is more valid, right? Following suit with the 1 week uptrend and super trend. You're looking at 96,000, 97,000 as like a bull run determining trend switch possibility, if that makes sense, right? We still got a couple weeks in us, this is what I'm trying to tell you guys, to continue going higher before we can, you know, if we do start crashing over here, this is going to be the level that determines whether or not we are in a bull run or not. If we break that going lower, we're in crypto winter sell-off. It's over the 4-year cycle, sorry, it's gone. That's the way I would take it. Before that number was all the way down here at 74,000, but we actually bounced up from it and continued our bull run, which makes it an impeccable uptrend that we are currently seeing with it. So also part of the levels that I mentioned, you know, we could slow down at 74,000 due to that super trend line. And yeah, we managed to do exactly that. So that was great. It was also our all-time high of 2024, the first pump that we got in March. So of course it's was a significant support, now becoming resistance. So it was important for us to run down back there. And hey, if you're unaware, we actually had a CME gap down here that we filled up with this crash. And then we continued going much higher from there. CME gaps, a lot of people say that it's fake, but hey, I'm noticing a pattern. And we are filling those up each time. And next CME gap, it's happening at 117,000. All this is the gap all the way, right? So we could fill up the gap with Bitcoin rising all the way to 117,000, meaning that this level over here is likely to be seen for this week. That's what I think is going to happen. Slow rise, but we'll get there eventually. Maybe Monday's just bullish enough and then we just go get there at once. Who knows? Bitcoin is a volatile asset. Maybe it will. Overall, just down 2% today after that crash. But this crash, though, in terms of percentages, how big is that? 3.78% on Bitcoin. Yeah, okay. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Look at that. New all-time high. Just sudden spike. Reached 4,956. Just hit 5,000 already. I want to draw the 5,000 mark. 5 grand. There we go. Obviously, this is the real resistance that we have to worry about. Other than that, pivot level support for Ethereum, 4,582. think we could ignore these Fibonacci lines. I would have to draw new ones if we start, of course, heading lower from here. After we break this pivot level, I'll draw Fibonacci from here to here. This is basically 4,000 right around over here, so I'll also draw the 4,000 level so I know where we are psychologically speaking. It's still saying we're in an uptrend for Ethereum, so that's overall really good. I mean, no kidding, we are hitting all-time highs. This is due to a massive short squeeze. Like, I think this is an exaggerated pump that we got. Not even Bitcoin went up this far. So to see Ethereum do something like this, it was due to all those shorts that were on Ethereum. Once again, record shorts at that time. People just don't learn. Or maybe they thought it was the top and maybe we'd go back down to 1,300 again, which I don't think we will. We could. I wouldn't doubt it. Ethereum has never ceased to surprise me, so, you know, I take it all with a grain of salt. Nonetheless, down 1.23%. 4,717 is the current price. DK could take us lower, like I said, to the pivot support, 4,582. Don't think we'll go much lower than that. At least not for this week. Solana, it was also doing really well today, along with Ethereum. It hit a new recent high of 212, maintaining its uptrend very well. I entered these two great positions. My average price is 178. That is a profit of 660 right there. And I think it's my best performing asset. Yeah, Solana. I was thinking about it the whole time and saying, look, Solana is like one of the only coins that has not really gone up compared to the rest, compared to, I don't know, something like Chainlink or XRP or Ethereum for that matter. And I thought, you know, anything Solana under 200, 3x leverage, you're safe to buy. It was my opinion. And it turned out really good. It's rising. I will not yet be taking profits. I put a take profit at 262. I feel like we deserve to go much higher with Solana. Meme coin season hasn't really hit. When I know that memes are skyrocketing and everything is great, and Solana is also reflecting that same rise in popularity, that's when I would probably consider selling. The 262 is just there just in case we do a little blip like we saw with Bitcoin, but the opposite. Like, what if something like that happens? Though I really doubt it, but hey, you never know. We've seen Cardano pump 73% in one day due to a Trump tweet. Crazy stuff in this planet. I'm gonna lock this and write the word 200 so that I know. All right. Speak of the devil, XRP, $3, current price down 1.42%. We actually, this morning, hit a high of 313. Yeah, clashing right there with that resistance, sort of. I don't think this is a valid Fibonacci anymore. We're looking for resistances now. Let's just hope that this is indeed a valid resistance. 311 is where super trend drawing is, so technically a downtrend exists and it would look like that, although I think these levels are a bit too recent. Worst case scenario, we should be paying attention to the bigger one from the all-time high. I was going to do Fibonacci retracement for resistances. It's telling me 315 and then 308. Current floor is $3, 301. Then you got 292 as our next support. Pivot level is looking at 298, so of course we did not drop lower than that. Cardano is, what are we doing here? Also a good pump over here to 96. 89 cents is the current price. Really not much to say with it. We are looking for supports here as well, so 89 cents seems to be the important support. We have a pivot level at 89, where we currently are right now. This trigger order did not get filled. I talked about it. It was not even a cent that I missed that entry and could have been making some pretty decent profit, but it is what it is. Sui, probably my favorite coin of all time, hit a high of 384 today. Currently at the 362. This is a important support level. Pivot is coinciding there with this Fibonacci level. This is my average price at 350. Currently in profit, nothing too crazy though. I didn't put too much in it. Chainlink, $25.75. Chainlink's still top performing coin over here. Non-stop rising. Didn't care about anything crashing at all. Just kept on rising, so it's been doing really good. Currently at a pivot level as well with it. Support, we're looking clearly here at $23. We'll put it at 20 cents, $23.20 on average. If you really think you're missing the train on Chainlink, you want to get some exposition, that would probably be a good level to consider a small entry. Nothing too crazy because, you know, price could drop over here. You'll be right for a moment if this order does get filled, right, depending on wherever you put it. And, you know, things could crash much lower. Super trend would flip bearish, right? And you'd be in a downtrend for a moment while this continues correcting. If that was to be the case, but I don't think it will be. So that's why I'm saying you're going to DCA a little bit over here. Just a little bit. Unless you want to risk it all. Go for it. Litecoin still in its downtrend. Also similar blip in the price as we saw with XRP. Yes. But still downtrend maintained nonetheless from a high of 134. We hit a high today of 124. And we are currently at 116. I was looking at 112 as a good entry. Now it seems like it might be that time. I think like I said on yesterday's stream, I don't want to buy Litecoin above $100. But it's the same thing, like same mentality as you looking at the price of Bitcoin and seeing it above $100,000. I don't want to buy Bitcoin above $100,000, but here I am buying Bitcoin above $100,000. So I think I'm eventually going to cave in and do the same thing with Litecoin. I don't want to buy it above 100, but I think I might have to. And I'm going to average out these prices, the exact low point versus support 1, average those two out, and that's probably where I'd put a trigger order. Because I think it's likely to hit either overnight or by Monday if Monday ends up being a bit of a crash. Matter of fact, I'm going to do this right now. I'm trying to think. Where would I draw a Fibonacci? What would it look like? This? That's terrible. I'll adjust it. No, that sucks. Plus, we would have to... No, that's only if we're looking for resistances toward the upside. But if it's like from all the way down to 76, I feel like that's an exaggeration, though. Maybe one of the levels coincide. I'll see. Look at that. Am I a genius or am I a genius? So that's where this level comes from. And it coincides. What was this low point? 112.02. The Fibonacci is 111.99 or something. Oh my gosh, I cannot see this. 111.99, yeah. Should I average all those three out? I think I could. Would be good. Double support and we continue much higher. I hope so. Alright, I'm gonna do that. Calc. Okay, 112.02, 119, 111. Okay. 111.99 and then 112.99. What are these numbers? Divide this by 3. There's your entry. That here, and I'll drop 500 miserable dollars. 3x long, just making sure I'm not doing something ridiculous. There we go. I'm comfortable with that. Watch it miss by it like a penny again. It's usually what tends to happen to me. Last coin I'll analyze is Stellar. And we are stuck at this level, but nonetheless I am in profit. 162 profit. Current price is 40 cents. My average is 39. We hit a high of 41 at least. 42. That's good. Stellar was making me a lot more in the past, but not much anymore. This is a good entry, I would suggest. How much is this that I put in here? I could, I guess, determine by looking at these numbers. So I must have put 500, then 1,000. I'll drop another 1,000 in here. Between these three lines. Alright, come on, I gotta use my brain over here. Low point 0.38048 plus 0.37956 plus 0.37830 divided by 3. That's your entry. And it'll drop my average price down, not by much. I'm not expecting, like, maybe down to over here, 38.6 approximately, just by putting 1,000 in here. Yeah, I think that should be good. Great. Is that, like, right on the support? Almost. Just under it a little bit. Okay, cool. Those are my little updates for trigger orders of this week. I don't have any more, do I? Please load. Stellar Litecoin. Okay. I have one in Aptos. Yeah, that's good still. And that one in Cardano that completely screwed me over. But it's fine. I haven't looked at Aptos in a hot minute. So, similar deal, I guess. Perfect bottom purchase. Continued higher. Could have taken profits, decided not to. Aptos is at a weekly low. Bad chart in USDC, but USDT, you'll see that we are in record lows for Aptos, and 289 for a liquidation price if you're using 3x leverage, let me tell you, has never been hit. So it's a no-brainer, in my opinion, to buy Aptos at these prices with 3x leverage. Probably the safest bet out there, if not the safest. Not financial advice. Moving on. Time to talk about some news and what has caused this bad thing crash, big red over here. Why this happened. Here's why. A lot of people are thinking it's Binance illegally transfers Bitcoin to Wintermute market makers, then violently dumping to eliminate all leveraged longs to 110,800 exactly. This is criminal exchange behavior with impunity. This is what some people think. I don't think it's necessarily that is the case. Although there's some allegations that, you know, people who look on chain would be like, yeah, that actually could happen. This is what actually happened. A Bitcoin whale sold 24,000 Bitcoins. This is worth $2.7 billion, which caused today's crash. $4,000 difference in the price of Bitcoin in just a couple of minutes. We just see this right over here, right? They still hold 152,874 Bitcoins, which is worth more than 17 billion. And here's the evidence of them doing these sell-offs. And this is why OTC markets would be good at times. This is why we see Michael Saylor doing his purchases on OTC markets. Speaking of Michael Saylor, I don't know if he purchased Michael Saylor. Did he post the orange chart yet? Oh, he did. Bitcoin is on sale is what he said. All right, confirmed. Michael Saylor is buying Bitcoin tomorrow. Well, he might have bought already, but he'll announce how much he bought tomorrow. Hopefully he's not broke. What else was going to mention about this? Yeah, I'm not too convinced, though, because only $2.7 billion of a sell-off on the price of Bitcoin shouldn't have this much impact, in my opinion. How much again? 2.7 billion. Because I did the math one time, like the actual math. What if Satoshi Nakamoto himself, Mr. Bitcoin, what if he sold all his 1 million Bitcoins on the market all at once? How much would that impact the price? And it came out to be, yeah, it was a couple $1,000s in Bitcoin's price, but it wasn't anything too crazy, like Bitcoin wouldn't crash 50% or nothing like that. Now, I'm assuming what happens in these scenarios is if you sell on the spot market, of course, yes, you'll drop the price of Bitcoin. It is a lot of money. I'll admit it. Okay, $2.7 billion. There's nothing to sneeze at. But, like, to drop it this much, it has to do with a cascading effect of longs getting liquidated. And that's ultimately what happened. We had, I think it was 300 million on top of this, longs getting liquidated or something like that. I could probably check the liquidation heat map. In 24 hours, we can check how many long positions got liquidated. Not the liquidation. Is it this one? It was in total 79 million. That is a lie. Where's Binance? Where's Coinbase? Oh, here's Binance. Are we sure this is... Or maybe the data did not get published yet. I don't know if there's like a better website that'll tell me. Liquidation heat map. Oh, what do I have two? I don't remember which one's the genuinely valid one. Yeah, no, I don't got it here. But there was something like it showed, oh, some X amount of money got liquidated in the past hour for Bitcoin. So it was something significant, and it caused this cascading effect and a lot of fear. Even people who are not even leveraged long, they're like, oh, Bitcoin is crashing, cycle's over. They get scared on a weekend and they sell off. Also, by the way, why on a weekend? Why would someone dump a load of Bitcoin on a Sunday night rather than wait until tomorrow? Explain, please. I don't know, just to scare people. And because usually if we do get a big sell-off like this, like there's going to be a lot of people buying the dip immediately. But there's inactivity on the weekends. So not a lot of people are there to buy the dips. I was not there to buy the dip. I was busy cleaning my house. And, you know, I checked my phone an hour later. I'm like, oh, well, there you go. Bitcoin just crashed to 110K and I did not buy it. And now we're back at 112. So whatever, I guess. Hold on. Speaking of checking my phone, I wanted to put it to charge. This is odd. Should I do wireless charging or should I do cable? Cable is not fast charging and wireless charging says it's fast charging, but it's actually really slow. Weird dilemma that I've got. Whatever. I'll just plug it in like a normal human being. Because wireless charging also, like, I don't know, I feel like it's killing my phone. It overheats it, like, significantly. Here we go. All right. Drop the price so you cause a chain reaction with stop limits, then buy back cheaper. Done during low liquidity to amplify the impact. That's exactly it. That's what I was talking about. Right. So that single whale caused today's 310 million. That's the amount of money that was liquidated. A Bitcoin flash crash, dumping 24,000 plus Bitcoins on the spot market. They still hold 152,000 across linked wallets. The funds trace back to HTX deposits from 6 years ago. So there you go. That's the reason why we crashed. People also mentioned, okay, what about Ethereum? We were hitting all-time highs for Ethereum. Now we're 200 off again. What happened with Ethereum? Apparently this is what has to do with the market manipulation. Because look how good we were. We were hitting all-time highs, right? And then we just have this sudden huge sell-off. What's that from? People are saying that it's Binance flushing longs, dumping millions in Ethereum. Just by checking that dump, you could see the effect that it caused. And it was all verifiable on chain. So people, of course, are accusing Binance of doing this. Grok says liquidating longs during price drops is a standard legal practice for exchanges like Binance to manage risk. As per user, okay, I guess in that sense, sure. Like margin calls, that is something the exchange has to do so that they don't lose the money. You're the one, your risk, you're the one that would lose your money. Accusations of deliberate dumping for manipulation, they surface often, but without regulatory findings, it's unconfirmed. Verify on-chain via tools like Arkham or Etherscan for transparency. Well, people are trying to use, this is Arkham, and by the looks of it, Binance sending it off to Wintermute market makers. It's basically selling it off. Yeah. It's likely they are probably manipulating prices here and there to benefit themselves. And I mean, just go back to the whole Bybit North Korea hack where Binance practically helped bail them out to help them buy back all their Ethereum. And to do so, it was practically confirmed. No, not really. But it was hard to deny the fact that, yeah, they definitely crashed the price of Ethereum on purpose to buy it back cheaper for Bybit, right? Not confirmed, but it's just speculation, I guess. But the evidence is there. XRP is doing great as well, flipping BlackRock in market cap. XRP has a market cap of 180 billion. BlackRock has 177 billion. So there you go. XRP is doing something great. This is some Canada news. Canadians, they're saying that they're skipping meals, but Carney still finds $2 billion to give off to Ukraine. I think he went over to Ukraine just recently. 60% of Canadians say cost of living is the crisis. Only 7% of people care about Russia. The country is broke. Families are desperate. Ottawa is too busy playing war toys in Europe. So Mark Carney says Canada is the largest per capita donor to Ukraine, hands over millions more in new spending, and says we'll always be there to support. We've already given Ukraine over $20 billion. Enough is enough. Canadian tax dollars go to help everyone but actual Canadians, is the criticism of most people. And yeah, it's part of the reason as well why I would love for that war to end, but I don't think it will anytime soon. Despite the efforts of President Trump, both Vladimirs of Russia, Putin, and Ukraine, Zelensky, they failed to move forward with any scheduled meeting. They are each blaming each other and creating new demands. It's time for the USA to walk away from this conflict. We need to stop funding an army in Ukraine. This is a European problem. America first. Yeah, well, I partially agree with that. Like, I don't think we should fully walk away. I still think we should mediate whatever's going on there, because it seemed like we were on the right track, but now these guys are starting to once again accuse each other of, oh, you want to give up territory. You don't want to give up territory. Oh, but yeah, exactly. I don't want to give up territory, but we already conquered this land, so you must give it up, and that kind of stuff. It's such a complicated issue, and it's not looking like it's going to get resolved. So there you go. Russians and Ukrainians will keep killing each other. Russia's top diplomat says there is no plan for a Putin-Zelensky meeting. That's from Sergei Lavrov. Deals a blow to President Trump's efforts to mediate an end to the war in Ukraine. He had this to say, saying, according to the Ukrainian constitution, Mr. Zelensky is not legitimate. They refuse to sign any deal with Zelensky. Also, he calls him Mr. Zelensky. They don't even recognize him as president. So, of course, there's all this criticism now, like, okay, what are we going to do about this stuff? We should just stop supporting Ukraine and let them fight their own war, because they clearly aren't willing to, you know, I guess they don't want to, quote-unquote, surrender to Russia, because that's losing, and they don't want to lose. And we've had the other world leaders, European leaders, stuff like that. They want Ukraine to win this war. It's not like what Trump is saying, that he just wants to end the war. No winners. They clearly have a different mentality, and they will keep funding Ukraine, is what it seems like. At least they're not I don't know. No, that's not the right thing to say. Like, United States has given $200 billion to Ukraine, was it? And other countries have not matched that yet. They haven't forked over that much money, but now they slowly are. They're still trying to fund that, so people are still complaining like, you're wasting our tax dollars on foreign wars that we don't care about. Focus on the country first. And no, whatever. So I guess that's still going on. Last bit of news. Trump threatens to sanction Russia in 2 weeks now. This is the new threat. Russia, if you don't reach a deal with Ukraine, we're going to sanction you. Okay. I don't even know if they're going to take him seriously anymore. The whole taco thing. He gave him originally the 50 days. He cuts it down to 10 days. After the 10 days are up, Russia agrees to meet with Trump in Alaska. Putin does. They meet up. They say, okay, yeah, we agree on everything. Okay, what next? Oh, Zelensky's suddenly coming to the White House with a lot of European leaders and not Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. He's just chilling in Ottawa. But anyways, they have this discussion at the White House. And they're like, yeah, no, it was all good. We all agree. Great. I'm gonna call Putin real quick. Okay, great. Yeah, you guys are gonna have to meet up with each other, Putin. And then once Putin and Zelensky meet up and have their little discussion, maybe even Trump gets invited to the next meeting, and then they'll discuss some sort of a ceasefire. Now it seems like there will be no discussion of any sort to help end that war. So there we go. That's also part of the reason why we not go up infinitely. And I don't know, depending on how severe this narrative is, we might see price still suppressed under 120,000 for Bitcoin specifically, but nonetheless, I feel like a rise to 117K is inevitable at some point this week. We are still in a downtrend. I guess that's true, but we can easily break out of it still. And yeah, Solana's been doing great. Should I sell? What's my unrealized P&L? 493. That's pathetic. That was $3,000 at one point. Whatever. Yeah, I'm going to hold on for a while longer. If Bitcoin continues crashing, my next entries will probably be around 107, 108, and then ultimately 104. 97 is like, I think, worst case scenario bottom, because this is where we're seeing that the uptrend for the bull run, right? Which I practically showed in the chart. Like, yeah, even if we do drop to something significant like that, I still think we're in it, and we've got a couple of weeks left in us to continue rising, which we absolutely can. September rate cuts are coming soon. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Speaking of rate cuts, though, also part of the reason why we have not continued to go up is because the percentage has started to fall again. I think we back to 70s. Now we're in the 80s, 87%. It's just fluctuating like crazy. Like last week, we were in the 90s after Powell's speech. Before Powell's speech, we were in the 70s. Like, this thing has got incredible mood swings, so wouldn't rely on it too heavily. Liquidation heat map. Was this the good one? I'm going to delete the one that's not best. This one's not the best one. This one's the best one because it shows like the combined data from all exchanges. The other one you have to like specify Binance or Coinbase. I don't care too much about them. Huge resistance, of course, right over here. 117,450. I think this amount of short squeezes over here at 116. We're going to shoot past 116 to reach 117. There we might see some resistance, so it further reinforces my analysis that I made over here. The fact that we could rise over here and then be met with this resistance once again, testing it before we eventually inevitably do break out much higher, because there's a lot of liquidation going on over here. So in terms of the bottom side, I mean, yeah, all these got liquidated. And we can continue dropping. We could slow down at 108,000, which... Whoops. Which, that's right over here. Yeah, I guess that makes sense then. Because liquidations would, you know, cascade little by little over here. And there's not that many in this zone. So that's why that could be a potential good entry. Arguably higher, above 108,000. Okay, I think that is all for today. Let me just have one last glance over at CoinMarketCap. I want to check top gainers and losers. Nothing important for top gainers. Top losers, Athena. Athena's a good coin. Oh, World Liberty Financial. I wanted to have a look at that. We have in USDC. That's a W. I probably would like it at 62. We're at 68 right now. This is a very volatile coin, and apparently it's a really good project. Okay, 62. Let me know. World Liberty Financial. Shoot, come on. Where did it go? Is it gone? Yeah, it's gone. All right. We'll find. And this is obviously going to continue dropping due to the token unlocks. I think I gave my analysis on it yesterday. Yeah, literally this is going to happen. Token unlocks starting August 25th. That is when a lot of people will start selling off their tokens, the early investors. And then September 1st, that's when it opens on spot. Spot would be decent, I would assume, because that's when you can start accumulating again. Or maybe even selling off, I don't know. Maybe after September 1st, whatever lowest point you get from there, that would be the best entry. depending on how much people sell off on that day. I'm not sure. But it's open on perpetual futures, World Liberty Financial. It exists. So that's pretty cool. Still not buying this. I don't have any data on it. I don't have an RSI. I don't have, where's my RSI? There it is. Already starting off with a very red super trend. But we need more data. Alright. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about. And it doesn't show up on CoinMarketCap yet. Also, suspicious. Pump Fun. What is Pump Fun doing? Is it here? No. Pump. USDT. It's this one. I bought at these lows over here. Already took profits around over here. We're back to lower points again. Incredibly volatile asset, Pump Fun. Where's ICO price? All the way up here. That's disappointing that we're still all the way down here. But, I mean, they got the legal case going on. Meme coins aren't as hot yet. So, it's going to take a while. Pudgy Penguins 34 still. This thing does not drop. Pepe is at 10. I don't care about Whiff. Yeah. Say, I'm researching Say. You still got risk of liquidation on Say, even with 3x leverage. So, I don't think I'm going to touch it yet. Yeah. Okay, great. So, yeah. For the 5th time, that is all for today. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm gonna probably see you tomorrow. Don't think I got much going on. We'll discuss some news, whatever happens tomorrow. What is happening tomorrow? What is happening next week? I didn't check economic calendar. That's my fault. Nothing's happening Monday, Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, GDP. Okay. And PCE, Friday. That's going to be important. So Thursday, Friday next week, look out for that. Yeah, other than that, rest of the beginning of the week is going to be boring. No Powell speeches, nothing. All right, cool. Thanks for watching.